Hello.
Hello.
You can come around here. Hi, Carol. Hi, Peggy. Hi, Patsy. I missed somebody. Hi, Beverly. Hi, Louise. Hi, Linda. Welcome. Robert's wandering around, texting, I think.
All right, catching up. Joan must have been here. Motor Joan.
Oh.
My email box is full.
Of Moda orders?
Yes.
Well, they don't ship until
fabric.
Fabric. Yeah, I know. They don't ship
like
until January. And I think November, December, and January is when what I ordered today ships. So we buy it a long time in advance.
Got to.
Yeah, you do. So it's kind of weird, you know. It's like now I'm looking at like
January.
Well, in January, yeah, they're shipping a lot of patriotic prints and things like that. So hi, April. Hi, Alana. Hi, Rainbow Cheeseburger.
Rainbow Cheeseburger's on. She's in the house.
Carrie.
Wamigo. Some relatives up there. Some kin in that part.
Hi, Kathy.
There's Kathy. How are you?
And the walleyes are biting. Okay.
Ooh, I do like walleye. That is delish. Delish.
Well, let's do our sound check while everybody's on. Somebody on Facebook and YouTube, give us a thumbs up if you can hear us okay.
Hey, Barb.
Tonight starts our sew-along. Well, it's not really a sew-along. It's kind of an embroidery along, but you do have to sew. Hi, Stephanie. Great. Glad you got your pattern CD. Yay. Sounds great on Facebook. Somebody from YouTube, let us know. Oh, thank you, Beverly. Okay, so let's get started.
Hey, Kathy.
We are Quilters HQ, Windmill Sewing Center, Sewing Machines Express, and Quilt Sampler. The websites are quiltershq.com. Robert's over here going like this to distract me. quiltershq.com, windmillsewingcenter.com, QHQ2.com, and quiltsampler.com.
And regardless of anything someone throws at you, you still got it all right.
It is shocking. It's shocking
hey, Robin,
when I get it all right.
To the show. Hey, Linda.
That's the exception, not the rule. So
times, I think, Joan, right?
We are starting this little pattern tonight. It's so pretty. And
yeah, see, I can't even do a good job of it. Thank you, April. Falling down on my job.
Falling down on his.
I did get into my coffee. Thank you, Kathy. The blood can actually curdle if you don't have the right amount of coffee, and you don't need any clog ups because you didn't have your coffee. Moving on.
So tools tonight. Bobbin thread. I don't know if you've ever used this. Comes in 2 colors. This is OESD bobbin thread. Love it, love it, love it. It is, I want to say it's 60 weight. Yes, 60 weight. It is $15.99. This quilt would be stunning in black background. Just throwing that out there for anybody who hasn't decided on what their background is going to be yet. Can't say enough good things about this. Elmer's. Pick it up at Target, Walmart, all the good places. We will be using it tonight. And this is a scissor set that we carry. And these are made by Farmore. These are from the Quilt Sampler. And I am going to be using the little curved embroidery scissors. These are great for when you're trimming around your applique shapes, because you cut flat, so they fit right up tight against your Poop. Okay, it's gonna be that night. Words are escaping me today. The set, there's actually two. And there's a sewing set. This is the sewing set. The one that I just showed you is the embroidery set. And the embroidery set is $60. The sewing set is $75. And if you buy both, it's $125. So that's a really good discount. So if you want one of those, that's the prices on the bundles.
Hey Sharon, how are you? Hey Bernadine.
It is a really nice set. I like it a lot. And so I think that's all of the tools. I'm using OESD thread leftover from Vicky's project. And I'm showing you this again because we're going to sew on the machine that she made this. Isn't that gorgeous? This is such a pretty Thomas Kincaid. It's a OESD CD.
That's a beautiful project.
But she made that, I think it was on this machine.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
All right, hold on, folks. We're going to move a little bit. So tonight we are sewing on the Janome M17. We're still moving a little bit. I want to get you guys close. And let's tilt it a little. Okay. So we'll get you in really close. I'm going to wake it up. And then I'm going to talk about the ship machine for a minute. So I've already loaded the pattern. We are going to sew the large set. And the sewing sequence is right here. So pretty easy. This machine comes with two bobbin cases, one for sewing and one for embroidery. And you can tell, I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to get really, really close to see in there where it says, you might not be able to see it. This says, well, it might be able to if I hold it the right way. This one says 20 grams. This one says 10 grams. So they've already set the bobbin tension for you. So the 10 grams you use for regular sewing, the 20 grams you use for embroidery. And so I've got my stitch plate on. I think I lost my stitch plate cover. To unlock it. Oh, thank you. Thank you. To unlock it, there's a little button right here and you just press it and this is going to pop up the stitch plate for us. Gonna drop the 20 gram bobbin case in there and then wiggle it a little bit to make sure it's fully seated, because this is where people mess up. And then put that on, it just drops down in there. I've already got a bobbin wound. Let's put that in.
Hey, Danita, how are you tonight? Hey, Julie, welcome to the show. Hey, Carla, good to see you.
And the cover.
Teresa, how are you tonight?
And attach our, let's go this way. I think this is right. I know I'm doing something wrong here, am I? What am I doing wrong here?
Slide it all the way.
Well, I thought I did. Oh, I just didn't use enough strength.
Just a little knob there.
Let's tilt it down a little bit more so that you can see what's going on here. And I'm going to change out the thread here. So our first step is to sew our placement line.
So a few people have asked what you're doing because they just jumped on the show and they on previous.
We have, this is our first night. We're doing our first block, and we are doing an embroidery sew along for this quilt. It's super, super pretty. If you don't have an embroidery area, oh, that's the other thing I wanted to show you. Here, let me slide this in front. Look at the size of this embroidery area. This is huge. Here, let me give you some perspective. Here's a 24-inch ruler. So that's the large hoop on this machine. So let's just go ahead and get threaded.
How many weeks is this running, Joan?
I think we said, I don't
12
remember.
or so? 15?
Right, one. So let me lift you up here for a second. So I don't know if you can see, it's all numbered. So 2, 2, 3, 4. Super easy machine to thread, which is very important because when you're doing embroidery, you're changing your thread a lot.
So what really attracted you to the machine embroidery so much?
Oh, the perfection.
Okay.
So
okay. Everybody has something that draws them to the embroidery.
Yes.
It's fun to watch for sure. Cause
it is fun to watch. And so for me, it's like I can do applique and it's fine. So I'm going to hit the button.
Kathy, welcome to the show. Hey, Amber, welcome to the show.
Hit the button. Automatic needle threader. Is that cool or what? Okay, got my bobbin loaded. Let me unlock here. And then we are ready. And we're doing step 1. So, I've done applique by machine. And it's cool and it's pretty. But there's nothing like what it compares to on an embroidery machine. Because the embroidery just makes it so much more. And I think that's what really attracts me. And besides, it kind of you can be really creative with it. The question was asked, what stabilizer am I using? I am using Floriani Heat and Stay Tearaway. And I also stabilized my fabric with, it's kind of a t-shirt backing, and in Quilt Sampler they call it, what's the name of that? Presto.
Oh, the Presto, yeah.
Yep. So we're ready to start. And so the first step it's going to do, if you've never done machine embroidery, this is going to be fun for you. Somebody has it on turtle. But listen how quiet that is. Daughter's wedding dress was the first project. That's so super cool.
Hey Beth, how are you tonight? This is the Janome CM17.
Yep. Yeah.
Project goes along to kind of showcase what they do in the embroidery world.
Well, I think it is kind of fun and relevant because, you know, when you go to a machine shop like ours, any of ours, and they're like, oh, you know, I'm looking for embroidery, we give you the 3rd degree, and we're like, okay, well, what kind of embroidery, what kind of sewing are you doing? And then we try to fit you to a machine, but you don't always get to see all of the top of the line embroidery machines. Okay, so I'm going to pop this out.
Which Florian did you use on this one?
That is the Heat and Stay Tearaway.
Heat and Stay. Okay.
Yep.
There's a lot of stabilizers out there.
Yep. Okay, batiks. So, quick lesson on batiks. So, one of the things that people always tell me that they don't like batiks because they can't tell the right side from the wrong side. And I'm going to give you a little cheat for doing that. So, take your batik, fold it in half where you can see both sides. And then you can see which one has the more intense color. And for me, I think it's this side. And it's just a judgment call. So, with batiks, but you can see it. So this is what I'm going to use for the center. So the center of my flower is going to be this one. Let me set it down and fold it in half. And then fold it up close. So then you can kind of see which one has the more intense. And to me, this side has more intense color than this one. And I can see it in the circles. Okay.
So were you just what speed do you have the machine set on? Yeah, we may have to turn that back a little bit or stop it occasionally.
We get a lot of people asking questions.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's take a stop and ask questions.
Are you stitching the outline?
Yes.
Peggy was wanting to know that. Okay, we covered that.
That is the first step. And so I don't have to do anything with the embroidery design. The embroidery has already been done for me. All I have to do is follow my sheet, and my sheet is telling me that my first step has stitch order, placement, stitch petals. And so I'm going to actually...
Hey Karen, welcome to the show.
Get out my glue stick, and I'm just going to kind of lightly go around here with the glue stick. Doesn't have to be... Oh, did I bump it?
See you there. Hey Donna, how are you doing? How's Cheyenne?
I can turn the light off on this, can't I? I think
so.
I can.
I'm sure somewhere.
Well,
100,000 settings in there.
there is 100,000 settings in here.
Oh, Kathy, all right, we hit a nerve there. Love the batik. Same with Peggy.
So this is just washable glue. I have used this for years and years and years. And then once you have that done, all you're going to do is just place it over the top. I don't want to waste fabric, so I'm going to kind of line it up. And then I'm just going to press it down like this. I don't need
Amber's
any.
Favorites batiks too. We hit all kinds of the batik fan.
I love doing embroidery with batiks because they're so vivid, for one. And then we're just going to pop that hoop right back in there. I'm going to use a little more effort. There, I did it. And then, so we're sewing our petals cutting guide. So start, I have it up as high as, well, up the speed, but there is a setting, and I'd have to get Vicky to show me where it is. And so now it's doing a double stitch. And this is from the pattern maker. The stitch that it's doing right now was digitized for the pattern. But I love this fabric because it's like, hey, it's Kansas. You gotta have sunflowers in your quilt. And I think we still have some of this.
So, good question, I think, from Donna there.
Does the glue get the needle sticky? No, it doesn't. I've used this many, many times and never had really an issue with the glue gumming up my needle. This is more just to hold it in place while the machine is doing the stitching. And if you're doing this project with us, you're making 3 of this block. It's not that one. It's, go back. And scroll down. There you go. That's it. Catherine is finding this color of fabric for you to put a link to it. Okay, now comes the fun part. Not really, just kidding.
Oh, you're going to do a little trimming.
Yes, now is the trimming part. And so that's where these scissors come in handy because they rest flat against your hoop here.
So is there any general guidelines when you're trimming that? I mean, as far as
Use the applique scissors.
get something that's got a real good scoop on
Right.
it so that
These
you
are
can, why do you
curved.
need those?
And they have a really nice sharp point to get into these little crevices. As soon as I get this trimmed, I'll show you why the sharp point is important. And there are so many applique CDs out there. CDs. How old am I? They're not
Designs?
CDs. They're designs, right?
In some format,
Well, now they're
digital.
digital downloads, right? So it makes it so much easier because none of the computers have a CD player anymore. I upload all of my when I get a new design or new pattern, I upload it. I use and this is not an endorsement. I use Google Drive because they give you, I think it's a couple gig free. It's like 10 gig, isn't it, Robert?
I don't know. Off the top of my head, they changed it.
So if you have a Gmail account, you get free drive storage. And embroidery designs are really super small. You can put a lot of them up there and save them.
That's to let you know if it's an embroidery machine only.
This is a sewing and embroidery combo machine. And one of the things I like about this machine is it will make you a better sewer because it does so many things for you. It will memorize how far you sewed if you wanted to do a grandmother's flower garden. That way you only have to mark once. If you're doing applique with a blanket stitch, you can press a button and start a new stitch. And if you're interested in this machine, just give us a call. It is an awesome machine. And not as much as you would think.
Are we not on Facebook? You get a notification. Yeah, sometimes that happens, Karen. I don't know. It's like if it's multiple notifications that cause that or what. If you're subscribed to a lot of channels.
The AC on? I am just sweating up a storm here.
Okay.
I give Robert cold weather training because, you know, some of us ladies, we get hot all of a sudden. Okay, so that was the fat quarter. And I'll hold it up. So those little peaks right in here, this is why you need a good pair of scissors with a sharp little point there to get in there and get that cut. Okay, so next step, let's grab our instructions. Placement, stitch, flower, center. Since it is overlapping, I'm just going to use the same color instead of changing my colors. There we go. Locked in and start. And then we're just going to repeat the same process again and grab our glue stick. And I never really trim these down beforehand when I'm doing applique like this. I always just I'm going to trim that off. Little tail.
Oh, it's really pretty, fabric on there. Batiks just always brighten and
I
just
love
do so
how
many things for it.
intense the batiks are. Okay, just a little circle of glue there.
A holder.
Little placeholder there. And I never trim my pieces down because I like to conserve as much fabric as I can. And I always trim it after. So I don't like pre-cut my pieces before I'm appliquing. Don't want that in there. And then it's going to sew it down for the cut line. Okay, let's trim this off. This will go much faster than the other one with all those little wonky petals. Could have trimmed that a little bit closer. That's making it kind of hard to. Oh, that's like the perfect piece for this.
Oh, the centerpiece?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's pop it back in. And so let us know, how many of you have done applique like this on your embroidery machines? And check our pattern here. Next stitch is the petals, and so this is the color, so we're just going to start. And away we go. Shows you exactly where the needle is. And it's so mesmerizing to watch.
Yeah, it's almost like a coffee break where you get mesmerized, don't you?
It is.
Oh, take the coffee break.
I did one. And I did it with using a single needle. I did it on a multi-needle embroidery machine, but I used a single needle on the embroidery machine because it was cross-stitch. And oh my gosh, it took a long time, and I was just sitting there. I had a little stool just sitting there watching an embroidery, and I'm like, oh, change color. That was an investment of time. That one took me a long time, but it's a very beautiful quilt. It's the one in the office.
Yeah.
But yeah, machine embroidery is my favorite, and my favorite way to make quilts. So right now, if you're not familiar with machine embroidery, what it's doing now is kind of underlay stitches to stabilize everything, to make sure, you know, because if we hadn't glued it down, those fabrics could be moving a little bit, and pretty soon it's going to start doing the actual embroidery. And we are sewing at 1200 stitches per minute, which is commercial speed for embroidery machines. And you say, it doesn't really, how much does that matter?
I didn't know that, Cheryl.
Oh, Cheryl. an embroidery shop. I feel you. I would totally miss it. So this is telling me I have 48 minutes to go, so we're not going to be able to finish it tonight. This is the largest block. If you don't have an embroidery area where you can sew a 10-inch block, which is what this is, there are smaller versions available that you can do. So there's...
Oh, in the pattern?
In the pattern, there's 3 different sizes of this flower. So there's an 8x3 by 8.27, and I think there's a 6x6. Is it this one with the speed boost, or is it the Bernina with the speed boost? I think it's the other one.
Fly along pretty good.
They do all fly along pretty good.
790 Pro's pretty fast.
Yeah.
The Brother's pretty fast.
So right now we're doing the underlay stitches. It's so much fun. That is a really nice bed. That has this. They call them wings. These pop on and off, and they're to support the big hoop. Because the big hoop is really, really big. So turn it just a little bit, and you can see. So it's big. It's not going to fit over my body, but you know, I've seen people do it. Skinnier than me, though. Linda, where there's a will, there is a way. You can find, I think anybody can find room for an embroidery machine. They are so worth it. And what you can do with them is just totally worth it. I'm sure it's spam. People calling the shop. Moving in really close. I know. Maybe they want one of these machines. It's a nice machine. It really is. Big display over here on the side.
Great cabinet.
Yeah. So you can track the progress. It's quiet. I've had machines that are super, super noisy. The commercial machine that I have at home is super, super noisy. Wakes up the whole house if I'm embroidering at night. You just got a 6 needle. Well, that's cool. Patsy, what machine did you get? Yes, Lana asked the question. Will I use different fabrics on each of the 3? So these are the fabrics I picked out for the other one. So there's this fantastic blue and red, and then there's a red and teal. It's going to be a very, very colorful quilt. And I'll show you all that. Oh, you got a baby log. That's a great machine. I'll show you some of the fabrics that I'm going to be using. Back you up just a little bit here. So these are the colors that we selected for the kit. We still have some kits available. Several yellows. I love this one. This orange with the teal. Fabulous. This is going to make wonderful flowers. Another wonderful flower. And I did go through and iron all of these with a little bit of starch, not a lot, because batiks are already kind of stiff as it is. So, yeah. So these are the colors that we're going to use in the flowers, and then I have a couple of greens there in the background. I love that one. To use for the leaves. And purple. Nope, there's one more, which matches that one. It's just a different color of it. So those are the colors that we're using in this, and then I have a couple of greens for petal or for leaves. So it's going to be a very bright quilt. So let's check on our embroidery. I think we're still doing stabilizing stitches. Do we have other machine embroidery kits? Probably not yet, but it is something that we are going to be carrying. So a lot more kits and a lot more. It is kind of relaxing. It's so much quiet. I just can't get over how much quieter it is than my machine because it's really loud. But I like this. This is an 11.5-inch square hoop, so you can do lots of quilt blocks in this hoop. I love the square hoops for that reason, because they're just perfect for this. So if you're making this with us, hi Miranda, once your sewing is complete, so this is cut to 14.5 by 14.5, you're going to trim it down to 12.5, and that's on the front side of our sewing chart. So cutting, sewing, and then the rest of the blocks are 6.5 inches, so we'll be able to get through all of those on the show and actually finish them. Almost done with our placement stitches, and then we'll get to see it do actual embroidery instead of just, you know, tack down. fill in around those petals. It's so cool. And that's a cool stitch too. I didn't look when we first loaded it. It has 38 minutes left, and that includes all of the colors, so it was probably around 45 minutes for the whole thing. I'm not a fast trimmer, so that probably took a minute to trim it. I think about 45 sounds about right. It is kind of a bigger block, and it does have a lot of embroidery around the flower. And then the other color that I selected is this isocord for around that flower, because I wanted it to be a little bit darker to highlight it. And I may mix in some contrasting colors as well. Isn't that turning out so pretty? And of course, Bernina has a new top of the line coming out. It's the 990. I know some of you have already made your reservation. I know, it does change the look of the fabric, doesn't it? So it takes it from that one big kind of block and turns it into actual petals. I could have used like the bright yellow, and that would have been really contrasting, but I kind of wanted to go with the burgundy because that's one of my favorite colors. Yeah, Amber, I can't wait to see the machine, to see what it looks like. The new Bernina 990. You're right. So Peggy brought up a good point. So I'm going to stop here because we still have some things to do. Robert, if you'll come man the camera, let's tilt it back up so that you can see. There we go. Thread Club. There it is. I got a lot going on right here. This is the pedal for that machine. I forgot what I was going to say. Has that happened to you too?
You were talking about Thread Club.
Yeah, but I was talking about something before that.
Kathy wants to know if the new machine comes out in August of this year.
We get to see it in June, and I think it's right after that.
I think if you are a pre-order customer, you're looking at probably July, August, somewhere in there. If you're not a pre-order customer, then it'll probably be much further down the road. Kind of depends, I think.
So Peggy brought up an interesting point, and that is I need to have something else to do while my embroidery machine is running. And I am in complete agreement with that because well, some people wouldn't be able to pre-order. If you're in the Kansas City area.
Oh yeah, it's only you need to go to your local dealer.
Yep, you need to go to your local dealer. If you're within like 50 miles of Kansas City, you can get that Bernina from us. Springfield too.
Springfield, yeah, quilt sample.
But
You need to go to your local dealer. Though.
yeah, they will kick out and reject the pre-order if you are in California and you order it from us.
Definitely not. Gonna
So,
happen.
yeah. So yes, that's why we have multiple machines. So while my embroidery machine is running, I'm sewing and piecing something else. So I am totally on board with you there, Peggy.
Yeah.
Color of the month is color number 2230. Do you remember the name of this?
Red peony.
Red Peony. For Mother's Day. They come in right about
That's
now.
right. Yeah.
15% off for the show. If you're in the Thread Club, it's 20% off. If you're not in the Thread Club, it's $20 to join. You get this cool little box to keep all of your airfill thread in. And travel. This fits really, really nicely in your go bag for retreat. Just saying. I think I've used it. Giveaway. We have a giveaway.
We do have one.
I actually am doing not 2 giveaways, but I'm giving them 2 things.
Oh, okay.
So we can take care of that now.
Okay.
Tonight's giveaway is both compliments of Moda. This is Pauline's Quilter's World. This is 3 Quilt As You Go quilting templates. These are the kind that you trace onto your pattern and then sew around. And then modafabrics.com reference guide. This is a handy reference guide because it will tell you how much backing yardage formula, bed and batting sizes, charm pack pattern, how to slice a layer cake, mini half size conversion. Lots of good stuff in here. Not that, Moda's maybe just a little bit self-serving, telling you how to make layer cakes into quilts. So you buy more layer cakes, but those will go to one lucky person. And then I will, believe it or not, I'm going to shut this whole machine down tonight and not finish it. And when I come back in tomorrow, I'm going to fire it back up and it's going to pop up and say, do you want to continue the last pattern? And I'm going to say, well, yes, I do. How did you know? So it's really good at keeping track of where you are in your pattern as well. So I don't have to go, okay, well, no, I need to reload my pattern. I can just power it off. And when I power back on in the morning, it'll just say, do you want to resume? And I'll answer, yes, I do.
Marna Earhart is our first winner.
What was her first name?
Marna, M-A-R-N-A.
Marna, if you have
Congratulations.
not shopped with us, like Earhart, like
Like Amelia Earhart.
Yeah, I didn't see the last name. Oh, E-R-H-A-R-T.
Marna, if you have not shopped with us before, please go to quiltershq.com and register for Joan Sews. That gets us your information, and we will get this to the mail. If you are local here in the Kansas City area, let us know, and you can just stop by and pick it up. I don't know, did anybody claim any of the things that we were talking about, like the bobbin thread or the scissor sets? I wasn't watching. Okay, so this is it for this week, and
Did we give this second one?
No, she had 2 items she was giving.
Oh,
one.
2 items, 1 person. Okay, I gotcha.
2
Gotcha.
items, 1 person.
Peggy
Gotcha.
has a question for you.
Okay,
Oh,
Peggy,
nice.
ask away.
What do you do?
When your bobbin runs out in the middle of embroidery. So
Good
with
question.
with this machine, you can actually back up. So there's a reverse button. You can actually and it'll just follow the stitches backwards. And I go probably maybe 10 or 15 stitches over what I've already sewn, so that it locks the new stitches in the stitches where the thread broke or ran out of bobbin. But that's really not that much of a concern with this machine, because this machine will say, hey, I don't think you have enough bobbin thread to finish your next portion. And it will calculate it for you.
Pretty good feature.
It is a really good feature. And so it'll pop up and say, if I were to do the next piece, and I didn't have enough bobbin thread to finish the center, it would say, you don't have enough bobbin thread. Which is kind of, really nice. So you don't have to do that. It's nice to have those
Those
machine
niceties.
features that go,
Those niceties that go
Hey.
with that.
I know you're not paying attention, but I am, and you don't have enough thread. So,
You too, Kathy.
yeah, it's a pretty good feature on this machine. So, it is a nice machine. It is Janomi's top of the line. We sell Ulna, so we don't have any other Janomi machines up here, but we have them in Springfield. So, actually, it doesn't matter because this is the Joan Sews show. So,
There you
all machines, right?
go. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we will see you next week if we don't see you sooner.